Visionary parents, how are you doing today? Yes, we are live and we are still talking about discipline. Today, we are going to learn the areas, different areas we should discipline ourselves. Because when we talk about discipline, we're always talking about our children, disciplining our children. But how can you discipline a child when you have not disciplined yourself? Remember, we are looking at discipline as training, not necessarily flogging or hitting, but training. And for you to train a child, train someone, train anything, you have to be first of all trained. So today we are going to look at the different areas we are training ourselves. Now, something just crossed my mind. Very many times you see, people they set up businesses and they say, no, I just don't want to hand it over to someone. I want to first of all train myself. I want to know how it works so that I will know what to expect, how realistic it is, just set my goals and actually have my goals realistic. And that applies to parenting. Discipline is training. We have established this the other week. We said discipline is training. And a coach in the Visionary Parent Academy said something that is very profound that I cannot get over. She said, when we talk about discipline as a course of study, it simply means that when you meet someone who goes to school in higher institution, you ask them, what is your discipline? You are asking them, what is your course of study? It simply means that what areas are you being trained in? Where is that area? Which area are you getting training? That is discipline. Bring it to parenting. Discipline is training. Which area are you training your children? How are you training them? One of the things we do in parenting, we just reduce discipline to correction. Yes, correction is just one part of it, and it is not even the major thing. The major thing is training. To discipline a child is training. We realize that very many times what we expect of our children, when we are even using the corrective discipline, is actually because we have not trained them adequately. So we now resort to using the corrective discipline instead of the training discipline. So this month in the Visionary Parent Academy, we have be all about discipline as training. We actually want to train our children. We want to train them before we begin to demand from them. Because again, I will say it emphatically, discipline is training. So this month, we are dedicating this month to training our children in every area of their lives. So today, we are going to look at you as a parent. You want to train yourself, because before you are qualified to train your child, you want to train yourself. And we are looking at the different aspects we need to train ourselves as parents before we even train our children. I mean, if you want to get something, who do you go? If you have a professional, you have a quack, who do you go to? You go to a professional because you believe that that professional has received adequate training before they are qualified to train. You'll be confident, and most times you are going to get results. So today is all about training yourself as a parent before you go ahead to train your child. Now, this is brought to you by the Visionary Parents Academy. My name is Enimien Oruebor. The Visionary Parents Academy is an academy where parents get empowered to raise the children they have. They get empowered to parent with knowledge, with skills, with confidence. They get empowered to take action. If there is one thing I am big on, I've said here repeatedly, is that it is one thing to actually get information. It is another thing to apply, to take action. Now, your information, knowledge is not power until action is taken. I read somewhere yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? I read something that you have not learned if you have not taken action. It is true, because learning is evident in the transformation, and transformation is evident in your choices. So learning is evident in your choices. You cannot tell me you have learned when you remain the same. It doesn't make sense. So when you say you've learned, you don't even need to tell someone, oh, I've learned this thing. They just see you exhibit it. They see you take action. They know that you have learned. That is it. So you are here, welcome. If you are here for the first time, welcome. What you want to do is to subscribe, is to share this link and let people know that there's a parenting community on here that gives empowering information. Now, above all of that, you want to make sure you take action at the end of the day, because it is taking action you will actually grow. It is taking action that there is proof that you are learning. If you are not taking action, you are not learning. I want to establish this. Anything you learn, you do not take action, you are not learning. If you learn how to drive today, you don't start driving, in the next couple of months, you are not going to be able to drive confidently. So learning is complete when you are taking action. So as you learn, as you come here with your writing materials, your jotter, your pen, and of course your water, please make sure you are going to take action at the end of the day, because it's action that your transformation is. Again, this is brought to you by the Visionary Parent Academy, and my name is Enimien Oruebor. The Visionary Parent Academy is an academy where parents get empowered to raise the children they have. You are skilled up, you have information, you have the right community that motivates you, that holds you accountable. It is not a judgment zone. We just have conversations, discussions. We meet every day, and I tell you, the community is so empowering. It's amazing. We have 4 coaches in the community who every single day have conversations with us and take us through the journey of parenting, so that we can learn and we can grow. Someone said that when you get to a certain age in your life, your children's success is actually your success. It makes a lot of sense. There's an age you will get to in your life. It is your children, their choices, their lifestyle that will actually bring joy to you. And like I always say, it is not when your children become teenagers, adults, or when you get to that place that your children will just automatically make you proud, or make choices that will actually make you proud. No, it is today when they are toddlers, today when they are still newborns, today when they are preteens, when they are teenagers, that you will begin to deliberately sow the seeds and begin to water the seed that you want to birth that children you want to see. So this is the Visionary Parent with Enimien Oruebor. So what you want to do is to go to this channel. We have a lot of resources, amazing resources here that you are going to learn from. And if you have any question that bothers you when it comes to your parenting, if you have my WhatsApp number, do well to send it to my WhatsApp number and I will attend to you. If you don't have my WhatsApp number, you can go to my Facebook and send it via private message, or you can just drop in the comment section that you would like to talk to me one-on-one, and I will gladly take your questions, because hey, what are we here for? We are here so that we can raise a society where our children will be proud, we will be proud, God will be proud, and we are going to be safe. So today is about, before you discipline your child, watch this. And we are talking about discipline as training. Like I refer to the course of study in the university. When you are asked, what is your discipline? It simply means the area you were trained at. Your lecturers took time to train you consistently, and at the end of the day, you have a proof that, okay, this is my discipline because I was trained in this area. So that is what we are looking at. Now, the first thing you want to do as a parent is that you must evaluate your mindset. You must evaluate your mindset and understand what discipline actually means and what discipline means to you. So what does discipline mean to you? Does it mean correction, or it means training? Now, this is the first thing we want to establish. Discipline is training. You are training. Discipleship. You are training your child. So let this be your guide. Whatever you want your child to learn, whatever you want your child to do, discipline is training. Start removing the correction now and start training. Correction happens when the child has made a mistake. Oh, the deed has been done, so you are correcting. That is it. Training simply means you are proactive. You are planning ahead. Okay, it is going to happen so and so. I start training down. You can't go, a 16-year-old take the certificate and go to office to get a job. There is so much he will not be allowed to do. But because a time will come when he's 24, 25, he's going to need a job. So you send them to school now. They start training towards that. So firstly, discipline is training. is preparing, and training is preparing for when those skills will be needed. Now, it is why there is something very many parents do that I can't wrap my head around it. I see parents in church all the time. Their toddlers are crying, and the next thing they want to do is to pick up their phone and give to the toddler. Maybe they are crying in church because they are bored, because they are highly stimulated and everything. I want to ask the parents, we are talking about discipline as in training. So your child will become a teenager tomorrow. They'll be in a place they are bored. They'll be in a place they are highly stimulated. They'll be in a place that they don't want to be. What are they going to do? Now you are training them already. You are training them. Now here's the thing that happens. By the time they get to that stage, all they want to do is pick their phone, press their phone. You are not complaining. You all you do is phone. Guess it. You have trained them. Like I said, imagine your child. You send your child to go and learn a skill. You don't wait for your child to be 24, 22 before you send them to go and learn a skill. They start learning the skill now because by the time they are 24, 22, they are independent and they will need that skill to make a living. You are sending them now. That is discipline. Discipline is being proactive. It is preparing for the future. So you are seeing the future. You are actually preparing your child. I see another thing that happens a lot of the time. You know, I even saw a video on Facebook. I don't know if I saved it or so, where the child, a young child, maybe 3 years, was being very mouthy. A girl was being very mouthy, talking to the father, and the father was laughing. Training. Discipline is training. What is the father trying to do? You are already saying it's okay. You are tolerating it. At the end of the day, when you not expect that child to be respectful, when you not expect that child to talk to you respectfully, guess what? You have trained that child not to be able to talk to you respectfully, and then you want to be corrective. You want to be corrective. Discipline, again, is training. This is where I am going to. It is not, you don't wait for the time to come for you to start training. You don't wait for when you demand that particular behavior, skill, expectation for you to start training. This is what very many of us do as parents most of the time. We are not proactive in our training. We wait for when we demand, when we get to the bridge, you cross it. It is not like that with parenting. When you get to that bridge, them say the bonga would have been too dry for you to bend. So because when you are training, you have to train when the ground is still fertile, when the ground is still soft, not when the ground is already hard, before you start training. So you see children misbehave when they are young. Parents just allow them. Oh, he's a child. Oh, he's a child. You are already training them because discipline, you are training them. By the time the child gets to that age where you expect them to behave better, they have already been trained. So when they are now bringing out their certificate, their course, their discipline, that becomes their discipline. Now, this is why, again, like I said last week, I said every parent needs to have their curriculum. Because if you are going to refer back to, discipline as in school system, the school, they have curriculum. They have, curriculum. They have lesson plan. As a parent, you also will need to have your curriculum. You need to have your lesson plan. Then you need to now know how to consistently, repeatedly teach. One of the things we do is we don't teach beforehand. We wait for the behavior. We automatically expect the behavior at some age, at some stage. And if the children, because they have not been trained, they are not able to meet expectations, we now go corrective. Correction is part of discipline. However, it is where we go punitive because we are now frustrated. Like I said last week, I said the truth of the matter is no matter how emotionally intelligent you are, no matter how intentional you are, there are days your emotions will still come to play. They will still jump in the way. You are a human being now, especially if you are in Nigeria. Even if you are not in Nigeria, so many factors will come. They will put you under pressure. That pressure will now make you to be reactive. That pressure will make you to be reactive instead of intentional. So, but if you train your children before you start making demands, it's a lot easier for them to actually behave. for your expectations to be met. I have been on and on telling you why discipline is training, and I want you to take that and run with. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to change our approach. You can't change your approach if you don't change your mindset. Your mindset henceforth is that discipline is training. It's not just about correction. You don't wait for your child to make the mistake before you correct your child. Rather, you train them. And training, there's a way to train. We all know that there's a way to train, right? Yes, there's a way to train. Let's go. I just have said the first thing we need to know as a parent is that discipline is training. Discipline is training. We need to disabuse our mindset, shift our mindset. Punishment is reaction. Is reaction. Something happens. Oh, reaction. Why discipline? Why training rather is preparation. When we talk about training, we are actually preparing our children with the skills, with everything they need to meet certain expectations. Now, for us to effectively actually train our children, there is something that we need to understand. We even need to understand children. You need to understand the child you have. You need to understand behaviors. You need to understand what is appropriate, what is not appropriate. You need to understand your child's behavior, what it is constantly telling you. Like if you have followed me here, you will know that I am always saying that your child's behavior is a communication. Our children's behavior are always telling us things. It is the truth. No matter the child's behavior. A parent shared something in the academy the other day, and she said something about, I don't remember the story, I don't remember the particular thing she shared her child did, but she was trying to say, how is that behavior a communication? And in response, I told her something. Very many times, some children, what they want to do is, they actually want to test you. That they can be communicating. Oh, is mommy serious? And I gave her this example. I said, if you know adults that drink alcohol, maybe the adult will one day say, no, I'm no longer drinking alcohol. If they have friends who are mischievous, they want to set them up. Okay, let's see how it goes. Even young children, even when we're much younger, we just wake up one day and say, no, I've given my life to God. I will not tell lies again. I will not fight again. I will not do all of that again. If you have friends who are mischievous, they want to test you. Let me see. Have you really given your life to God? Oh, yeah. Let's put you to the test and see. Things like that. The same thing happens to children. When you tell your child, okay, I'm no longer going to do X, Y, Z, or even if you don't tell them, they just see that, okay, for a couple of days now, mommy has been calm, mommy has not been reactive. They feel, okay, maybe mommy is trying a new strategy. Let me see how let me see if I can trust her to go through with this. That may be the communication. They want to see how resolved you are. They want to see how you are able to go through with what you have promised, so that they can use it, they can hold it, they can have something to say. Hey, after all, mommy cannot go through with her promise. What is there to go through? What is there, So your child's behavior is always telling you something. Now, this is something every parent needs to understand. We need to understand this. Your child's behavior is telling you something. If it is telling you something, then that is how, when we talk about training, there are different ways we actually train children. Now, if you understand what your child's behavior is telling you, you will know how to customize that particular child's lesson plan. It's just like we have different children in class with their different learning styles. So when a child, like I tell parents, when I teach learning styles, I always say to parents that there are some topics that come so easy. Maybe the child has a strong foundational knowledge in that topic. Maybe the child just has, maybe that topic naturally interests the child. So it is easy for the child to just grab it. But when you now go and start going to your toolbox to bring out the child's learning style, is actually when you realize that this particular child is struggling. You are asking yourself, what do I do? Then you now go to your toolbox and bring out the child's learning style, because now you are trying to achieve your result at all costs. The same thing happens to children. When they behave, 3 children can do one thing and they don't have the same reason they are doing it. So you cannot just use a general approach to them. You have to, because that general approach can actually meet someone's need, can meet the reason why a particular child did that thing, but for the other children, that approach may not be the reason. Let me give you a particular example. If 3 children play truancy, as in if you have 3 trans children who are being trans in class, okay, you have 3 children who leave school, like to leave school, and they like to go out when the school is ongoing, they don't get to school. If you have 3 children like that, I tell you, those 3 children, they are not doing that thing for the same reason. One of them may say, I'm tired, school is boring, this teacher is one teaching us today, let me go, I beg, I don't want to see the teacher. That one may also say, there's a betting club, a betting shop near here, let me go there, I want to go and bet. That one may actually go. Another will follow, not because they have money to bet, not because they want to bet. Oh, I've heard a lot about betting club, okay, let me even go and see how it looks like. Another may, the third one may tag along. My friends are going, so this class is going to be boring. If my friend leave, who will I be playing with? Nobody. And if I don't go, my friend will say, oh, I don't want to go, they don't want to be my friends again. You see, these are 3 children doing the same thing for different reasons. So now imagine you want to correct these children, you want to now talk to them, you have to understand, okay, why did you do this? You have to seek to understand, you want to get to the roots of their behavior. Now this is why this also happens when it comes to your child's behavior. It is always communicating. There is always a communication. So what do you want to do as a parent? You want to pause and ask yourself, what exactly is this behavior communicating? The child that went out, why did the child go out of school? Maybe the child actually went to, maybe somebody is trying to influence him. You know, somebody has sown the seed of quick money, betting, quick money. That is it, squeeze a scam. Maybe somebody has sown the seed of squeeze a scam. That is why that particular child left school. Another child, okay, peer influence. Maybe that one, because he doesn't want to be alone in school, all his friends are out, let me follow. That one follow. The other one, maybe curiosity, just wants to go and see what is going on there. So you have to understand this. So the first thing you want to do is understand that your child's behavior is a communication. Now, let me tell you something. If you are able to decode your child's behavior from when they are small, it will be easy for you. It will be much easier for you to be able to train them for the future, because you have decoded their behavior from when it's small. Unfortunately, what most parents do, what many of us do is, when the child does something, instead of us to pause and ask, what is this behavior communicating? We are reacting. We react spontaneously. We just conclude that this particular child is misbehaving, and then because we have concluded, we now become punitive. We are carrying out punishment on that behavior that may not really be a misbehavior. It's just a communication of something that can actually help us understand the child better in the future. Let me tell you something. When my kids were much younger, my daughter, I don't remember what particularly one thing that happened, but I remember the brother got something. I think he got rewarded for something at that school, maybe an award, I don't remember. When we got home, she was unhappy about it. She was crying, where is my own, where is my own? I had to sit her down. I taught her about jealousy, how jealousy is not good, and all of that. I even used Joseph in the Bible. As a Christian, I used Joseph in the Bible to teach her. That's because I just labeled that behavior as a jealous behavior. Guess what? When I became extra intentional, started paying attention to pattern, I now realized that that particular behavior was not even from jealousy, was from the person she is. And that actually now gave me a better idea on how to train her, because life is not, we don't give everybody the same thing. Life. So start teaching her on opportunities, on how life happens. Like I always say in the Visionary Parent Academy, it now made me to start teaching her how the real life works. Not just vaguely, but as related to her, what the patterns I've noticed about her personality and stuff like that. So it is what happens when you are able to realize, oh, every behavior is a communication. So what do you want to do? You want to cut yourself some slack. You want to stop all the quick labeling, and you want to reframe when we did the emotional intelligence class, we talked about reframing a great deal of the time. Reframing our reframing, dropping the labeling, because like I said back then, and I'll say again, many times we have been programmed to see our children's behaviors in certain ways. That is the truth. We have just been programmed to say, oh, a child's behavior, when a child does like this, it is this. When a child does like this, it is this. We are not just programmed to see our children's behavior in a certain way. We are also programmed to respond to that behavior. For example, we say the child is rude. So when a child is rude, we have been programmed to see when children say certain things or do certain things as rude. Now, when we now see the child behavior as rude, we also have been taught consciously and unconsciously how to handle rudeness in children. So instead of us to pause and try to understand what is going on, we want to quickly jump and correct rudeness. Not that we are correcting from a place of understanding, we are actually correcting from a place of programming. Because whether we like it or not, a lot of the things, a lot of us in adulthood is programming. We have been programmed. We have been programmed. Now, this is why I always say, if you get to a certain phase in your life, you have to go and reparent yourself. And next month in the Visionary Parents Academy, we are going to focus on reparenting ourselves. Next month, we are going to begin to confront a lot of the mindsets, a lot of the programming we received, a lot of the mindset we had. Now, it is not just our parents that programmed us. No. We were programmed by a lot of things, our teachers in schools, our friends around us, our older siblings, television, and all of that. We were programmed. So we are going to now confront all those programmings, all those programs that were installed in us. We are going to look at the ones that are sabotaging us or have sabotaged us, the ones that we don't want to pass to our children. There are a lot of programming we should not pass to our children. There are a lot of mindset we should not pass to our children. In the Visionary Parents Academy, the other day, I was talking about how, this thing, age. We always talk about age. Growing up, am I your mate? Is it your mate? Go and see your mate. Has programmed us so much that very many of us, we now, we see age as such a big deal. Even many people, to even work with people that are younger than them, is a big deal. Like, not just that, some people, even adults, when they know people are older than them, they cannot even stand up and tell them the truth because you have been programmed. So those kind of things that have sabotaged us or are sabotaging us, we are going to confront them and make sure we change our conversations around them. We retouch our atmosphere so that we don't pass them on to our children. So if you are not in the Visionary Parents Academy, you want to join us for this particular class, reparenting yourself, mindset shifts. You are going to reparent yourself. All the things you did not have as a child, you are going to give them to yourself as an adult, because you cannot give your child. I always say, each time I talk about this reparenting ourselves, I always want us to do an exercise. I say, look at your child, look at yourself as a child. You see all those things that probably, all the things you received, all the things your parents gave you, all the validations, or the love, or the patience, all the things the environment taught you. There's every tendency that you already have them in them, you already have them in you, and you are already passing them on to your children. But you see those ones you wish you had, that nobody gave you, there is every likelihood that you also have them in you, and you are also passing them to your children. It is why we are going to look at ourselves in the mirror and collect those things back. The ones we wish we had, we are going to collect it so that we can give them to our children. So if you are not in the Visionary Parents Academy, you want to join us for next month, please just send a message and ask how you can join us. It's just for a token, and you'll be able to join us in the community, receive our 1 full month class, all the materials and everything. You are going to get it next month. So send a message so that we can start talking about that. Okay, so I've talked about mindset. I've talked about reframing our children's behavior. That is one of the major things we need. Then the next one I'm talking about is parents first. You want to raise disciplined children. Here's something I tell my children, my teenagers in school, in church rather. I say to them, the reason why adults around you are disciplining you. Because when I ask them what is discipline, they'll say, oh, it's flogging. It is when their parents flog them for falling short, for not meeting expectations and all of that. I said, okay, I understand that. I always tell them that discipline is training. So self-discipline is you training yourself. Now, here's the thing. If as a teenager growing up, you do not train yourself, then your parents, the adults around you, they will have to come and train you. Now, they use cane, they yell, name call, and do all of that because those are the tools they know how to use. It doesn't mean the tools are okay or not, but those are the tools they know how to use. You know, when you say, oh, you are going somewhere, there's a long road, there's a short road, you choose any road you want to follow, as long as you get to where you are going to. The same thing happens to those adults around you. They want to train you because you have refused to train yourself. So I always challenge them. If you don't want any adult to train you, then you train yourself. Sit down, look at the things that they actually are training you about, the things that they are training you on. Look at them and decide to train yourself. For example, you say, oh, your mom is coming and she's yelling. She throws something at you because you did not tidy up the house. She throws something at you because you are bickering with your younger sibling. She throws something at you because you did not do the dishes when you were supposed to do your chores and all of that. I said those are the areas that she's training you on. So why don't you sit down and train yourself? Make sure before she gets back, you are not bickering with your siblings, you have done your chores, you've tidied, you've done every single thing you are supposed to do. Then she will not have any reason to train you. So you need to train yourself first. That's what I say to my teenagers. Now let's bring it to parents. As parents, you too, you also need to train yourself. We need to train ourselves so that we can train our children. One of the things I realized that very many times in our in parenting, our atmosphere is not trained to align with our expectations. Our atmosphere is random. I remember what someone I know said she went to camp for the first time, reading camp for the first time. She came back and she was telling me, oh my God, you needed to have seen the atmosphere. It was just like, God was just, heaven was opening and God was coming down. I also remember a program we grew up watching, Atmosphere for Miracle by Pastor Chris Ojakilome, Christ Embassy. I don't know if they still do that particular Atmosphere for Miracle today. There's an atmosphere that allows miracle to happen. So there's an atmosphere you need to create in your home that will allow your training to take place. There's an atmosphere you will create in your home. The atmosphere begins with you as a parent, you being self-disciplined. Very many parents, we are just random. All we do is chaos. Shout here, shout there, react on the spot. We wait for things to happen. When things happen, we are reacting everywhere. We don't have plans, we don't have structures, we don't have systems. We are not proactive. We don't even know what to expect or what to do. We are just reacting. Everywhere, anywhere. Your home is already chaotic. There's no discipline. Your home does not promote discipline. Now we're talking about training. If you go to a place where you are going to receive training, if you go there, you are going to see all the materials. That's the first sign that you are serious, true or false. If you go to a fashion designer's shop and you want to receive training, you are going to see all the materials, see their machines, see their fabrics, their zips, their scissors, threads, and all the things they need. You are going to see them well arranged in corners. They have training session. That is it. When you enter there, that is it. Nobody needs to tell you, oh, that is the atmosphere, setting up the atmosphere for productivity. For very many of us as parents, we are not even self-disciplined. So our atmosphere is just chaotic. Our atmosphere is everywhere. Our atmosphere is such that every now is just because we are waiting for something to happen before we start correcting, before we start reacting. We don't think about training, because when you think about training, you are going to begin with the atmosphere, with the things you have in place. So as a parent, one of the first things you want to do is actually to train yourself. before you train your child. So now this takes us to the next one. When we talk about training ourselves, we are looking at the areas that we are actually going to train ourselves. Now here is something. The areas we are going to train ourselves. That is the next thing, and that's why we are here today. The first thing we need is to train ourselves emotional control. Emotional control. If your children are still toddlers, if you have preteens, you are so much in luck, because it is the time for you to start training them how to react, how to express their emotions. It's time for you to, because you are the emotional thermostats of your home. You want to start deliberately training them. I saw a video not too long ago, I think about a month or thereabout ago. It was a skit though. So the boy, toddler, small boy, let's say 5, he did something, and the father just came, yanked the thing off his hand, and was yelling at him. So the next thing was a girl, 3-year-old. The girl also did something. The boy reacted exactly the same way the father reacted. So they showed another scene. The boy did something. The father went there. He sought to understand. He emotion coached the boy, talked to the boy, and that was it. The girl also did something. The boy said the same thing. Reacted the same way. It is what it is. Like I always say, each time my kids do something, especially my daughter, I want to go to the mirror and look at the mirror and see, okay, is this me? Is she me? Because very many times it is what we are doing that our children are learning. So the first thing you want is emotional control. You want to be in charge of your emotions. You want to make sure that your emotions are intact. You want to learn how to pause. Last month, you want to learn how to pause. You want to learn how to ask yourself, what am I feeling? You want to learn how to say, what is my child doing? What is this all about? What is this child communicating? What response do I need right now that we align with the outcome I desire? Not just the outcome of stopping that behavior today, but the outcome of the bigger picture tomorrow. The first area you need to train yourself is emotional intelligence. You need to learn how to pause before you react. You need to learn how to stop shouting as a default. You need to learn how to stop exploding. Train yourself. That's the first area you need to train yourself as a parent, emotional intelligence. The second area you need to train yourself is consistency. This is a major one when it comes to parenting. Very many parents, we are not consistent. We are not able to be consistent. I share how I almost became inconsistent. I almost was going inconsistent over a particular activity this morning in the Visionary Parents Academy. You really need to plan. We are closed for this year, but next year you can join us in the Visionary Parents Academy. So you need to start to plan. You need to start planning to join us for next year. It's an academy that will really empower you. So I was sharing inconsistency, one of the areas every parent needs to train themselves. You need to train yourself to be consistent, because one of the reasons children do what they do is because we are not consistent. When we are not consistent, they misbehave. I was talking to my sister who lives in the US the other time, and she was telling me that human beings are human beings everywhere. They misbehave there, they misbehave here. There's no country they don't misbehave. She said the only thing about where she lives is because they have a system that works. So you know that, okay, if you break traffic rule, for example, there is something that captures you and you are going for it. So that fact that there is a working system is what puts them in check. And what is a working system? A working system simply means consistency. Doing something consistently, saying this is what it's going to be and this is what it's going to be consistently. Now, consistency can be a difficult task for very many parents. You know why? Because we are very impulsive. That is why we talk about training. If you are waiting for mistakes to correct, there's every likelihood that you are going to be inconsistent. But if you are preparing, because preparation needs you to sit down and actually think ahead, be proactive, ask what is needed, what is not needed, what can I do, what can I not do, what are the foreseen or envisaged obstacles, how do I maneuver these obstacles? You are going to put all of that into factor when we are talking about training. But for very many times we don't train, we don't prepare. What we do is just correct. So consistency is one of the major killer of your expectations, one of the major reasons your child is not able to meet expectations, because you are not consistent. One time you say okay, it's allowed, one time you say it is not allowed, one time you say okay, you can go, another time you say you cannot go. The child is confused. Inconsistency in your structures, inconsistency in your home, inconsistency in your behaviors. Now this is why, again, we cannot talk about training yourself without talking about training your emotions or being in control of your emotions. Because one reason why parents are not able to be consistent is actually because of emotional unintelligence. Let me use that word. Because when you are angry, you say some things. When you are happy, you allow what you are not supposed to be allow. I always use the story of Herod and Herodias in the Bible for this example. Because he was super happy, he was happy, dancing all over the place. That was why he told the Herodias' daughter, go and name your price. Tell me anything you want, even up to half of the kingdom. I'll give it to you. I mean, what if the girl had said, give me the entire kingdom and be my slave? Would he have done that? He wouldn't have done that. We know. So, because he was happy, he couldn't pause to think, okay, this is a blank check. What if they empty my account? So for very many parents, when they are happy, they just allow anything goes. So when they're in a bad mood, they are not happy, nothing, it becomes the other way. And a child is wondering, you allowed me a while ago, why are you not allowing me now? Inconsistency. That inconsistency, your child is not able to trust you. Now, this is why, again, discipline is training. Before you even set any rule, before you have anything, any expectation, you have to sit down, evaluate, analyze, and be sure you can be consistent. It's something you can do and repeat consistently. It's something that has to be there. That is it. Consistency. I said train yourself in the area of emotional intelligence. Train yourself in consistency. Another thing is, third one, clear instructions. As parents, we must learn to teach and give clear instructions. If we don't learn how to do that, we are going to leave our children confused, not meeting expectations many of the time. You see parents, they'll tell a child, don't do this. If you say don't do this, what is the child supposed to be doing? They may not know what they are supposed to be doing. Like you are not feeling fine. You go to the hospital. Maybe you had your previous drugs you were taking, and the doctor says, okay, don't discontinue taking these drugs. The doctor is going to explain to you, if I should not take this drug, which drug should I take? What should I be doing? So when you tell your child don't, make sure they are not going to live in vacuum. They are not going to stay without it. So when you say don't, then what is the do? What are they going to be doing? Now this is very, very important. So clear instructions, behave yourself, sit quietly for 10 minutes, stop, put your toys away. Clarity makes it easier. You must be able to give clear instructions all the time. So train yourself in the area of giving clear instructions. Train yourself in the areas of not being ambiguous. Clear instruction, clear, specific. That is one of the areas we get confused. Many times, we just assume the child should know. We assume the child is seeing. Really? No. We assume the child should know. We assume the child is seeing. For all you know, the child may actually be looking at you and they are not seeing you. They may actually be hearing you and it is not piecing together. The next, number 4, is personal discipline. Train yourself in the area of personal discipline. Your child is watching. They are learning what you are doing, how you are doing what you are doing. It is the major aspect of your atmosphere. Your atmosphere is not the building, it's not your AC, it's not your fan. It is actually the attitude, the energy in your atmosphere that makes the difference. Train your own personal discipline. Train yourself. You register for a course. Have you gone there? Have you read? Have you gone through the course? I remember sometime a couple of months ago, my daughter was telling me, "Mommy, you are not being consistent in so many things you do." I said, "What?" She said, "I have a family friend who has a ministry. We meet on WhatsApp every Thursday, 9:30." And she said to me, most times when I'm there, it's prayer ministry, prayer group. Most times when I'm there, they hear me, maybe even if they are sleeping, or I just tell them that today is our prayer group meeting, so I'm just going there to go for a meeting, or I will stay up a bit later. So she was telling me, "Mommy, you have not been consistent. I've not seen you attend your prayer meeting in a while." Consistency. And she also told me, "Mommy, you used to do Sunday tonic on Facebook. You have not been doing Sunday tonic for a while." Self-discipline, our own self-discipline. We think they are not seeing us. We think they are not watching. They are watching. What you do with your time, they are watching. How you do the things you do, they are watching. What matters to you, they are watching. You want your children to read. Oh, you are not reading. You are not reading. As a parent, are you even reading? Do you open your book to read? They are watching. So your own personal routine, your own personal self-promise, commitment, are you following them through? You want to discipline them. Are you following them through? If someone is going to discipline you, if someone is actually going to discipline you the way you discipline your child, how will it be? What is going to happen? Don't you think they will get a horsewhip? They'll get a belt. They'll get a wire. Yes, because even all those things, think about it. Don't you deserve it? Don't you deserve it? In your self-discipline, don't you? So next, the number 4 is personal discipline. They are watching you. The way you do your thing, they are going to learn and do their thing. Even when they grow older, they begin to form their own identity. They begin to understand some things. But hey, that your foundation you have laid will still follow them for a long time. That thing they have learned, except they will not deliberately unlearn. They'll deliberately unlearn. Otherwise, you see that template you have handed to them, that is what they will run with. So you, self-discipline, that is your area you need to train yourself. What are the promises you have made to yourself? What are the things you have committed to? The things you have committed to. What have you said you want to do in your house? What systems, structures have you said repeatedly you want to put in place? How are they doing it? How are you doing it? I remember myself when I was thinking about this. I remember that me too. This is supposed to be my own inspiration board for this year. My children have done theirs. I have not done mine. Even though I have all the names of the people I want to put on my board, I have the names there. I've put the area I want to be seen. I want the way I want them to inspire me, or rather what I'm learning from them. I put Pastor Jerieze, consistency. I put Chrissy Abature as well researched or well read. I put Mildred Okonkwo as deep. She has depth. I just put all of them. I said I put Pastor Chris Samadeyemi as calm and deep. I just put them there. I told myself that I'm going to get their pictures, put there. The particular trait in them that inspires me would be beside the picture. I'll put it on my table here where I do my class, so that when I wake up in the morning, I'm coming to my workspace, I am seeing these things. These things actually motivates me. So I told myself I'm going to do it this week, unfailingly. So the areas you have committed to, the areas you have promised yourself over and over again, how far? So self-discipline is the area you also need to train yourself. We've talked about emotional intelligence. We've talked about consistency. We've talked about, which other one have we talked about? Emotional intelligence, clear instructions. Now is discipline. Do I keep my words? Discipline. Do I manage my time well? Discipline. Do I do what I expect from my child? Discipline. You are their daily example. So you too, as a parent, you must train yourself in the area of self-discipline. Before you can hold them accountable. You cannot have a big log in your eye and be looking for the speck in their eyes. The next area is patience. 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 That is the area, the last area. 5. The next area is patience. Training requires patience. That is what we do not have. Patience. You must learn to be patient. Training is repetitive. Patience and repetitive. You must learn. One of the things we do as parents, we just give one instruction and that is all. Give instruction and we are good to go. We expect automatic compliance. No. Training is repetitive. Training is patience. You have to patiently teach and teach and teach and teach and teach again. I said I was going to research this thing. My teacher in church said something. She said, was it 1,000? He, not she. Was it 1,000 times or 3,000 times? I don't remember precisely. He said, when you repeat a particular behavior, I think 1,000 times or 3,000 times, it becomes a part of you. It becomes a major part of you. So it simply means that our children need that much time to repeat behaviors. It means we need that much time number of times to teach over and over again. But what we do, first time, second time, we demand compliance. Even in school, when you go to primary school, what happens? Teach them 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1 whole year that teaching them 1, 2, 3. 2 whole years that teaching them 1, 2, 3. Repetition, patience. We patiently teach. We patiently repeat. That is it. Now, I said this was going to be the last one. Not once. Okay. Training takes repetition. Yes, that's where patience comes in. It is not once. It is not twice. Many times. Correction without training is frustration. Absolutely true. Correction without training is frustration. Now, I said I was going to add this to it. As a parent, the area you also need to train yourself is to build your own skills, parenting skills. Now, this particular part of it, addition, was inspired by a post I saw on Facebook where I think Remy, she's an actress. She said, gentle parenting is not working. Her child, her toddler, tell me why she has to be explaining to her toddler over and over again that they should not go near the glass table. This is why we need skills as a parent. I made a video about it yesterday. If you are not following me on Facebook, follow me on Facebook and see the video. And I asked parents generally, if you have a toddler, why do you need a glass stool? See, the truth of the matter is we are the parents, we are even the one that are setting on unrealistic standard. Everybody around you knows you have toddlers. So they will cut you some slack. If your house is not as fancy as it ought to be, they are going to cut you some slack. They will know you have young toddlers. Why do you need toddlers? Why do you need glass stools when you have toddlers? So it simply means that now you have a glass stool, you are going to keep yelling, smacking, restricting the child. This is preventive. It is preventable. You are not going to now be yelling and hitting the child because you had a glass stool, because you don't want them to get injured. You are going to restrict them. You are not going to allow your child to explore as much as they want. You are not going to allow them to be creative as much as they want. You are not going to allow them to learn, be curious, and learn as much as they want, because you have a glass too. So as a parent, we also need to definitely sit down and train ourselves and understand the skills we need. What is age appropriate? This is why we cannot talk about, you cannot be a parent and not be in a parenting accountability group like the Visionary Parents Academy. It is going to help you a great deal. Now, I talked about emotional intelligence, and I forgot to mention that we have a class on emotional intelligence. We have 34 pre-recorded videos that is going to take your game from where you are to where you actually want to be in your emotions. So please, that course is just 10,000 naira for. If you take it now, if you send me a message after watching this video, you tell me you learned about this course in the video class, you are going to pay 10,000 naira. Otherwise, it is 15,000 naira. It is 34 classes, 34 lessons, and you also get the material, the slides for each lesson. You get them. And after the class, you are also going to have one session with me. After going through the 34 classes, you have one session with me to ask your questions and everything. So it will help you parent with calm, parent with clarity, become more emotionally intelligent. So what you want to do is just send a message how you can access this class, and I will give you access to the class. Becoming emotionally intelligent parent. So you definitely need to also understand, train yourself, open your eyes to understand what is realistic in parenting. You cannot have a glass tool when you have a toddler, because you end up yelling, you end up smacking, you end up. I saw a parent in church the other day gave the child a phone, and the child just threw the phone away, and she was not angry and hitting the child. Do you want to break my phone? Make it make sense. Speak English, let me understand. Because what she did was definitely Chinese. You use your hand to carry your phone, you give them to your pikin to play with, and the child was angry, the child threw it away, and you were hitting the child. Why do you want to break my phone? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I don't get it. So if you know you have a toddler, except you just want to be nagging, why you just want to frustrate yourself and frustrate the toddler, except you are not a very busy parent, so you want to be following them up and down. That is the only reason you will tell me, it's like you have a toddler, you are giving them breakable plates to eat. Make it make sense. When they eat a little, they raise it up, they hit it on the ground. They want to hit it, you rush, you carry it, you give them again. You are angry. Make it make sense. Who are you fooling? Who are you deceiving? We need to train ourselves in different areas. So let me ask you a question. Are you correcting or you are training? Are you reacting more than you are teaching? I put some questions here I said I was going to ask. At this point, I want you to pause and reflect. Now, if you are reacting more than you are teaching, if you are correcting more than you're training, so what you want to do is to go back again from the beginning of this video, take your writing material, begin to note every single thing and take action. That is what's most important, taking action. Like I always say, if you are very busy, you don't even have to see my face. All you need to do is just to put this video somewhere, be hearing my voice, be noting it down, take action. That is what makes a difference in your parenting. Action you are taking. If you are not taking action, you are not going to make any difference. So take action. Okay. Let me give you 3 steps for parent training. One is, before you react, for you as a parent, training your child, 3 practical steps. Before you react, you must pause. Every visionary parent knows this. Before you respond to your child, before you react, you must pause. It is sacrosanct. You are not automatic. You are not a robot. You are not a machine. So before you respond to your child, you must pause. You must pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? Why is my child asking? What is my child feeling that is making them act this way? What is this message communicating? Maybe communicating that I don't trust you. A parent shared with us the other day. She said she was upset at the son. She said the son asked for a boot, football boot, and she told the son, okay, I'm going to buy you a pair of football boots, but wait for a while, not immediately. The following day, the son came back with a pair of football boots given to him by his friend. Yes, the parent has every right to be she has every valid right to be upset. We told you to wait. Why are you going to collect from your friend? Why are you begging? Why are you collecting from your friends? When she presented it, and I asked her, before we even start to say whether the boy has misbehaved or not, let's look at it. Let's look at history. How many times have you promised him something that you don't give? So it may actually be communicating, I don't trust you, because over time you have promised me things and you don't deliver, so I don't trust you. It can also be communicating, I need this football right now. I need this right now. I cannot wait for when you are going to buy it. It can also be communicating, my friend gave it to me and I did not have the courage to say no. It can also be communicating, I don't understand why you want me not to collect the football. What is the big deal? Convince me. Tell me why I need not to collect something from my friends. It can always be communicating. So what you do is, the first thing you want to do is to create your own training system. Learn to pause. You cannot learn to pause if you don't have emotional intelligence. Now, this is why in the Visionary Parent Academy, we have 33 pre-recorded classes that will take your emotions from where they are to where you want them to be. The 34th one is you putting a call through to me after watching the entire video and telling me, okay, you have questions or you want to do one or two things. Like I said, you can just pay for that course for 10,000 naira only for that course from this class. You can reach out and say, oh, I knew about your emotional intelligence class from your video on YouTube, so I want to take it. I want to have access to the 10,000 naira discount. The next thing you want to do is to model. Step number 2 is model. Now remember, you cannot give what you don't have. You need to discipline yourself to be able to discipline your child. We've talked about that extensively, and I've asked you some questions. I know that they will actually talk, they are going to pinch you small here. So you need to discipline yourself. And thirdly, tell yourself that habit is built on repetition. So you are going to repeat it over and over again. If your child is not able to deliver, if the child is not able to meet your expectation, there's every likelihood that they have not learned. And for them to learn, you have to repeatedly teach it. You have to teach it again. Now, this is where patience comes in. And again, this is where emotional intelligence comes in. You cannot parent with emotional intelligence if you cannot parent with patience if you are not emotionally intelligent. Now, let me ask you some other questions. What habits do you want your child to learn? Are you practicing it? As a parent, are you practicing it? You produce who you are. I want my child to read. My child doesn't read. My child doesn't read. Do you read? Very many parents always think, oh, their children have time. They go to work, they are tired. Your child went to school. They played. They are tired. See, that's the truth. When you go to work and come back, you are tired. You are not able to push yourself. You are not able to stretch yourself a bit. That's the same way your child goes to school. They come back. They are tired. They may not be doing the work that is providing the money. But guess what? They are playing. That is the work they know how to do. So by the time they come back, they are also very, very tired. So if you cannot create a tiny bit of time from your tiredness to read, then you don't expect your child to also be able to create a teeny bit of time from their tiredness to read. So you produce who you are. Again, I ask, what habit do you want your child to learn? Are you practicing it daily? Because you produce who you are. Now, let me give you a short challenge. For the next 7 days, I want you to focus less on correcting your child. Focus more on correcting yourself. It's a challenge for me too. Focus less on correcting your child. Focus more on correcting yourself. Take the focus away from your child did not do this, your child did not do that. Now focus on correcting yourself. Correct how you respond to your child. Correct how you instruct your child. Correct how impatient you are with your child. Correct how you have not modeled the right things for your child to see. Correct your child. There's a saying that discipline in your home will not rise above the discipline in you. I had to write that particular down. I have to write that particular thing down. I was looking for it. Say discipline in your home will not rise above discipline in you. Train yourself, and raising your children becomes easier. If you learned something, if this class was empowering, you want to copy this link and share. Let people know that something happened, something empowering happened here today. Bless another person. Don't be selfish. Bless another person. And if you're not in the Visionary Parent Academy already, plan to join us for 2027. It is going to be empowering. And lastly, remember, Becoming Emotionally Intelligent Parent class is available for you to go back and pick and watch and become emotionally intelligent. And yes, I have a new baby coming in, a guide that will teach your child all about their menstrual cycle, everything they need to know, what you may have not taught your child, and what you may not have remembered to teach your child about their menstrual cycle. It is just very small for a price less than a wrap of shawarma that you are going to get it. So I'm going to share it on Facebook later today or tomorrow, so that you can get your copy for your child, for your teenager who is maybe just waiting to experience their period or seeing their period from ages 10 to 15. It is ages 10 to 17. It is going to be very empowering. They are going to learn a lot from you. Thank you so much. Thank you. What you want to do is to copy this video and share. If you are just joining, you also want to go to the beginning of this video and watch it. I guarantee you that this is like a class you have not been before. It is eye-opening, it is empowering. Even me, I'm going to sit back and watch this video again, because in the course of being here, I learned a lot of things. I learned a lot of things from myself here. So I'm going to sit back, get my writing materials, and take notes, all the notes I need to take. Thank you. See you next week. Bye-bye.